Hi everyone, it's Lavender Sky Panther with you for another reading. This time it's a selected group reading. So we have 1, 2, and 3. We have 1 on the left, 2 in the middle, 3 on the right. Go ahead and make your selection. They're all very different, and this is going to be a much more express reading. The previous one was pretty lengthy and repetitive, just the way the cards came out on that one. Anyway, this one will be a little more brief. See which pile calls to you. It's going to get real interesting in a second. All right, let's go. All right, so for group number 1, we're dealing with the Akashic deck, and here are the cards. Now, the overall reading for this, the title is probably going to be called, the title of this reading is probably going to be called something like 1, 2, 3, surprise. Because I did lay out all the cards, and then I wanted, it turned out to be like one just wanted to be left turned face down to be the surprise at the end. So that's how we're going to do this. So once again with this Akashic deck, somehow it just wants to be read in pairs whenever I work with it. It's pretty new to me, so let's get into this. So you have the first 2 out are 7 of Forces, balance, and the Queen of Forces. She's also very balanced. So right off the bat, your message or your energies for today are looking at balance. So look at we have, of course, the scales of justice there in the center, and she's even standing like that, being the personification of that, right? So either balance or justice. We've got, equilibrium with the scrolls on one side. The contracts are neatly wrapped up. It doesn't seem like there's anything to do there. It's kind of like things are done, almost like empty out, leave your desk and go on vacation. Go do something nice and relaxing for yourself. The hard work is done and archived and everything ready to go. Even the seat, it's got perfect balance to it. It's symmetrical. The desk is symmetrical. It's kind of like very... not stagnant, but everything's just kind of stopped in motion. Nothing else to do there, right? Even here, she's kind of the queen. She's forces. She's balancing everything out. There's not nature pushing or pulling either way. They're just very sedentary. They're just sitting there, equilibrium. Okay. Now, what's interesting is she's standing on water, it looks like, on top of a rock. And actually, you don't see it. I'll show maybe later, but this overall background I'm recording on, and you'll get a sneak peek at the other people's piles, but there's a rock and then there's ripples of water. So it's interesting that she's standing on the rock and the water. And to me, as I was getting into this reading and looking a little bit ahead with the petals and everything, it just reminded me of the messages of balance, to maybe do something to relax yourself both day and night, maybe a little daily routine that incorporates maybe even a foot bath in the evening, throw some flowers in there, or even herbs, if you like eucalyptus or mint or something, just to be very relaxing, or even something like holy basil, oregano, whatever you are like drawn to just throw in the water for a little bit of an extra pampering and just like a calming effect to stay balanced and calm. And then when we're looking over here, it's hard to read, but it's this contract at the top. And we've got a light, pretty strong light illuminating this contract. But we also have flower petals and a feather. It implies that there would be an inkwell, and that this contract was written with a feather. But I'm reading a little more into this, whereas over here it looks like a more traditional, maybe even a legal office setting. Here it looks like, yes, it's a contract, but not the type that's bound like the contract made of man. The light and the flowers are, to me, just saying, let your heart space within guide the way with the petals. I'm not looking at this as a marriage contract. Even with the feather implies some kind of connection with the divine. And the balance is, to me, as she's standing in the middle poised so nicely, is that we've got the balance between the contracts, man-made contracts, okay, contracts and papers drawn up by man. But there's also this otherworldly aspect of going within and going far beyond and zooming out to the quote-unquote laws of man. They're insignificant in the face and the light of the cosmos, the galaxy, and the bigger picture of Earth, where nature knows no contracts. There's nothing binding per se. So here it's just taking a look at, it's the one of roses. So even though it's showing commitment, it's like, everything else around this contract is speaking of natural things and organic things, the feather tide of spirit, like I covered in the other previous show, like the idea of the winged messenger, the feather, is something lofty and of the air. and it's not bound and ground into anything binding on earth. So I'm just kind of getting that. Maybe you're contemplating a contract, and I would just say that, try to find your balance, relax, don't let anything stress you out if you're deciding what to do, if you should make a commitment or not. Just go within you and let the light shine from the divine and help guide any of your decisions. Don't worry about the laws of man. The laws of the divine surpass it every time. I don't even look at man-made contracts. To me, it's, just going by what you know in your heart. You don't need to sign or be bound to anything, certainly not. All right, let's move along. And so we get into another pair here of up in the air and caught in the ruins. So again, to me, it just speaks of maybe you're feeling like it's all up in the air. You don't know what to do about said contract. Again, I don't think it's I don't look at it as a marriage contract. I think this is just in general, contracts of man. And, you're grounded in the earth, but you're also feeling that, it shouldn't be so heavy. Even though things are up in the air, maybe this decision really shouldn't be that heavy, especially if you, go within and go out in nature, walk out in nature to maybe make this decision. It's funny how in the upper right, we've got the hot air balloon, and in the upper right, we have the fire, which would be powering this balloon, right? Let's see. So when we look at caught in the ruins again, maybe you're feeling a little bound, like a contract binds people. And maybe the answer is just to go run out in the field free. Just live by your heart and connect in with that freedom. And maybe, you don't need to make any decisions right away anyway. And I would say no matter what, you are the queen of all of the forces. You write your own contract, whether it's on paper or not. If you're truly still feeling caged and stuck about what to do, let things flow. Look at the waterfall. And even my background is showing the waterfall. Let everything flow out of you. If you're really confused and sad about it, have a good cry. Let those tears flow out. Get that energy out of you so that you can, again, then go out in nature and return and just run through the field with your arms out open, like let out the energy in a different way as well. And just know that, again, you own this. You're the queen of forces. In a pinch, if you're truly conflicted and feel like you have to sign something that you don't want to, there are a lot of YouTube and other channels that have really great people on that talk about contracts and very clever ways to sign them where you maintain all of your rights no matter what the contract says. So you might want to look into that. Some helpful sources are, I'll give you a website, www.crow777.com. So that's CRROW777 radio, RADIO, and 7 is the numbers, not spelled out 7. If you go to that website, you'll hear a lot of podcasts that have a lot of great information from very seasoned litigators and people in the know that really work to help people maintain their freedom. So you might want to go check that out. All right, so now that said, let's look at your bonus card, or your surprise card, I should say. Let's see if there's any other clarification or things you need to know about this, if any of this is clicking for you. And if not, go to any one of the other piles too. Don't feel obligated to stick with this one. All right, so here we go. This is called the Queen of Scrolls. So to me, that's kind of like High Priestess energy. What's interesting is this kind of filigree decorative background, maybe a portal, a door, the opening of a door or window. Or archway is kind of almost looks like two wings coming up together behind her, very angelic. So again, she's holding a scroll, which is interesting because there's a scroll at the very beginning in the balance card, implying, archives and records, maybe a contract. But look at, she's illuminated with the third eye. Again, it's just showing that you maintain the power over all of it. Do not stress over any parchment. That's like a record locked in time. But what I like to say is any documents are living documents. They can be altered or changed anytime. Kind of like in a previous show we talked about, you write your own story. You can always change it in any moment. So never feel bound. Maybe find clever ways. If you're in conflict and you feel you need to sign something, sign it in a way where you maintain all of your rights, no matter what that contract might say. But more than that, try to stay free. Don't get stuck into a contract if you don't have to. All right, that's group number 1. Thanks for being here. All right, group number 2, we're going to move on to that. Group number 2, you have a very spicy, let's just say, reading. If you've heard me before, I never like to do love or romance readings, but to my surprise, it unfolded as a total hot, very hot and spicy reading for you. So what I get is, and I'll run through the cards, is that you might be deciding between very different love interest types. Or if you don't have a love interest, you are like dreaming of what would be your perfect type, okay? So here we have, I'm not going to read it in the traditional tarot way, but we have the Knight of Cups. So we've got a guy who's obviously well off, kind of like the golden child energy, coming in on a white horse with a chalice, seems very well to do. Look at, he's even got butterflies flying around him. If there were a soundtrack playing, imagine what that music would be. Okay, so here he comes riding up, maybe your picture of everything you wanted, right? Then you have like the starving artist kind of archetype. So although he's not that starving, but obviously he's not dressed as well, but he's got beautiful, obviously, skills and talents, and maybe that's very attractive to you, even more so than this one. Or you're on the fence because you love the idea of what this guy has to bring with the chalice, but you also love the idea of the beautiful imagination and just, technical artistry that this one brings. So no matter which one it is, you also might dream of, we've got the Ten of Pentacles, you got all these coins, you got somebody who's really well off, maybe not as immature as one of these, who might play around with the heartstrings a bit. Maybe there's a little bit of player energy in one of these. You're not looking for it. You're looking for something maybe more stable, where you're kind of sitting pretty and happy, with the way things are going. But it's kind of like, when I look at this card, and sorry about the glare, kind of looks like it's kind of like the fake grin, to me it's kind of like a fake smile going on here, and she's just kind of like trying to go through the motions maybe of looking like she's happy. There's just the vibe I'm getting from this card. So she's kind of more really looking off over here. So maybe even though you dream of having this nice stable relationship with kind of a non-player energy, you still kind of are wondering about this bad boy, right? This other kind of totally different archetype of a guy who's out there, slugging it out, and, obviously has some type of more raw attraction, right? To the extent that you really are conflicted over it. The swords are coming in. You're really kind of feeling troubled and conflicted about what type that you should go for or could have, right? And so you're still looking off and dreaming of this nice, spicy, steamy romance that's presumably with more of this kind of a rogue character, right? Rough around the edges. And you're just really, really maybe losing sleep over it. Like, oh my gosh, I dream of this spicy, hot magnetism going on, all the passion. But then again, I would love to have something very stable, but it's a little bit boring, right? So all these decisions, right? And maybe you are actually dealing with these several different archetypes of a masculine, or you're just dreaming about, your next relation, what that would be, right? So you're in conflict. You're maybe going back and forth. Yeah, I wanted not entertaining. Sorry. Yeah, entertaining in a way. I wanted to be passionate and have everything in that way, but I also want to have the, the stability, the security. And of course, there's probably one more saying, well, why not have it all, within one person? But it, the way we're going through society, it's kind of like pick A or B, one or the other, or whatever. It's never a blend. So anyway, we'll move along. And yet again, you're like, this I want. No, this picture, we got kind of like the happy family. And again, it might feel a little too perfect. It always, if you look at the photo, it does look like a little too perfect, to the point where it's a little bit scary when you look at this. So anyway, it's just so funny because I go back to, this is where the person might be at. You're kind of getting, losing sleep over it. Like, what do I do? What do I do? Which one do I choose? Okay. So let's look at what the solution is here to all of this confusion about which way should go, with the relation. If you're making a decision, you're dreaming about the perfect one. Okay. So here we go. And let me change this card because the light is a little difficult here. All right. So here we have the moon. Okay. She's looking over and holding up a bouquet. And you know what it implies? Look at, she's very free, not concerned with the clothing, so kind of puts it maybe more in this camp. She's got the flowers. It seems like she's, headed a little more toward, selecting this type of person, right? Okay. And then let's look at the other one for clarification. Oh, okay. This is good. This is the high priestess. And she's also sitting on a throne that's like a moon. So you've got a double crescent moon, and moon can usually mean something's hidden from you. But she has a book, so it looks like she's looking up, knowledge that isn't readily available, some hidden knowledge. Yeah, in the background, she's got these candles. She's got like a black and a white one. So again, it seems like she's kind of trying to be the tiebreaker and look up the knowledge to get off center from, is it black or is it white? Is it this type of guy? Is it another type of guy, right? And no matter what, though, and she also has some flowers, and it looks like lily of the valley and things that you would use in a bouquet. So this to me shows that, yeah, this is absolutely looking at like decision making with a romantic venture, even into the fact that we've got like the oops, I just covered them, the swans in the background, shows that this is absolutely something to do with romance, or what type of love you want, or the type you're choosing from, actively choosing between. What does that say? Well, if it's the priestess, the high priestess, not just the priestess, the high priestess, it just shows that you'll have the answer, within you, or you're going to find it, and you'll just know which is the right way to go. And even though there's a lot of decisions with this story, yeah, why not imagine one man that does have it all, right? And if not, it just is an example of, well, try it, have a relationship with one. If it's not working out, you'll go with the other one. If not, you'll eventually find it. And it's just a matter of also looking at hidden knowledge. We know there are karmic relationships, ones that you seem to need to go through anyway, even if it seems like a wrong decision to learn certain lessons on your spiritual growth and evolution. Or there are soulmate relationships where maybe you don't need to go through the karmic, the drama, the high drama, and just find that, perfect soulmate match if that's where you are in your evolutionary path. So say you haven't had many relationships, or haven't had to choose between anyone, and you're just kind of wondering, well, what the heck, just know that it might mean that you were spared, all of this extra unnecessary drama, and that you still can just, flow right in to a nice, balanced relationship that maybe has it all. Okay. All right. That's all I'm going to say for group 2. Now we're on to group 3. All right, group 3, you have an interesting one because you chose the pile that's all gemstones. And the other 2 groups, we have a little more of a story going on. So if this seems a little flat or doesn't click with you with the gems, you might want to go hop over to group 1 or group 2. But in the meantime, it does still tell a story. And we're going to have a few cards that are already selected, and we're going to go with the surprise card at the end to help clarify anything if we need it. I'm going to have to film this on an angle because the light source is kind of driving my camera a little bit buggy. So first up, you got Adventuring, create your own luck. I love that. It's very positive energy. If you're on the fence, if you're doing too much or too little at the moment, this is telling you to go seize the day, go create your own luck. Be a little more proactive and start your own story. So here we have even a koi fish, and usually we see, this is my background here. So we even have a koi, I'm sorry, trying to get my everything sync here. So this koi fish is not just swimming underneath the surface. Usually that's how we see them. This thing is actually springing up out of it. He's like going to attack something. There's only a rock nearby. So it's just showing one is very assertive to reinforce that, dang it, you're going to go out and create your own damn luck. Okay, so go do it. You've got, the adventuring does have that kind of even a jade quality, which in many cultures is just pure luck. So go do it. You don't need to wait around for luck. You can create your own. All right, then you've got citrine. Again, sorry about the focus here. Pardon the focus issues. Bring in the light. Okay, got that beautiful kind of golden stone. And it's also it's really kind of telling you, you do the work here. You bring it in. You bring in your own luck. You make it happen. You bring in the light, whatever you need to do to bring it in to reinforce what you're doing. It's like you start that fire under your own ASS and get things done, right? So it's very proactive, very like be in charge. Don't sit around and wait for luck to happen. Then we've got garnet, and it says ignite your passion. So again, you're bringing in the light, bringing that fire beneath you to get you going. And then we also have turquoise, prioritize your health, which is interesting. I guess it's just a little friendly reminder, I would say, so far, because when you're bringing all of this in and you're maybe like turbocharged and you go in and things align and everything, maybe that's just a little friendly reminder to make sure that whatever you're doing, you do things that support you and your health and your own decisions. Okay, then we have agate, which is get back into balance. So maybe it's like, okay, you're making your own luck, you're making it happen, you're going gung-ho, all guns blazing, and you just are totally on the path and ignited. And it's a little thing now to balance it out, maybe, and make sure your health is good. You're not doing anything in crazy excess while you're all ramped up and charged up with this go-get-em energy, right? All right, now you got the surprise card, and let's see what that is. Maybe it'll clarify something for us here. And it is selenite, clear the clutter. Okay, so I would just say that after you balance out, it's just a little reminder to whatever you've done in the path, maybe you've left a wake of stuff behind you because you're just charging forward and not looking back, what you might have left behind in that wake. Clear the clutter to bring extra clarity to where you're going next, or how you're going to develop whatever you're taking charge with and creating your own luck with. And selenite, I think, is a little bit of a derivative from Selene, meaning the moon. And it's just kind of capturing maybe also the energy of the night. And this is also a very special crystal. There are a lot of health properties involved. Getting back to the Watch Your Health card, where was it? Oh, underneath the turquoise. So you may want to look up turquoise and selenite in regards to what their health benefits are, the health properties in a spiritual sense. So that may be a little clue for you there. Okay, well, that is the 3 piles, all very different. So I hope you enjoyed something out of this. And you know what? I'm just feeling like we'll just do one more little bonus round where we select one more card from each pile and just see. That'll be for everybody. Give me a second to put them all down. I'm going to move this out of the way. And let's just see if we have one more little bonus read, if I can make any sense out of it. And if not, maybe something jumps out at you anyway. So, okay, let me get these together. Pardon my camera work here. I'm not really watching what I'm doing. Okay, so we have loving elementals. How beautiful. 3 of roses. Look at this. A clear sky. I'll give them a break that they didn't put the golden sun. They put the artificial sun up there with the white sun. But we've got the elementals. How beautiful. Fire represented by the sun, the water, the air, the earth. Just really, really beautiful card. And that childlike wonder and innocence there. Then we have, wow, again, with balance and justice, that relates strongly to the first pile. And we have this, golden figure. Now this one, unlike, you might want to visit group 1. But in this case, unlike group 1, which was talking about like a day and night balance, this is even talking about a balance between the seasons. So we'll get to that in a second. And then we have, when we have soda light, oh, hang on with the focus here. It's the function of the light source above. Speak your truth. Okay. So here I would just say that what I'm just getting very, briefly is, because you are a child of God or child of spirit, child of a force that's, higher and above, that is like a creator force that created all the earth. Whether we're in a little baby body or a golden developed, adult body, it all comes down to the same thing, that we are, on this earth, to be in balance, no matter the season, no matter day or night, and no matter what's going on. The elementals all around us are all around us as well. They're loving elementals that support us in our time on this earth. And we are also here to be custodians, to respect the earth, work in balance and harmony with it, so that we can, receive the bounty and in equilibrium also give back to the earth in a number of ways. And then speaking our truth is all a part of it. We are at a time now where we need to speak our truth and speak up for nature. I think it's very clear with all of some imbalances that are going on and atrocities that are going on, trying to harm our beautiful elementals here, harming Mother Earth. It's our time now to rise up and, in our full strength here, and step up and make sure we defend and promote the most beautiful health for our own earth and Mother Earth, Gaia, whatever you want to call Mother Nature as well. Okay, well, that's all I have for now. I wish you all tremendous peace and love. Lavender Sky Panther. Bye.